definition is when you have too much money chasing too few goods. All right? So the classic definition of inflation is when you have too many dollars in circulation and there are not enough goods to match the dollars that are in circulation. All right? Now, when it comes to the dollars that are in circulation globally, there's nothing backing that up. All right? So after World War II, there was this thing called Bretton Woods, the Bretton Woods Accord, where the U.S. dollar was put on the gold standard. We made sure that in Fort Knox, Kentucky, we had enough gold in the vault there to match every single dollar that was in circulation. That meant that every dollar was worth a solid dollar, and we got enough gold to back it up and prove it and make it so. Amen? Now, in about 1973, President Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard and put us on the oil standard. And said, you know what, there's more oil than there is gold in the world, and we're going to print more money than there is gold in Fort Knox, and we'll just put this thing on the oil standard, and so as long as oil is flowing and fossil fuels are flowing, we've got something that will back up the U.S. dollar, and that's why all oil is bought and traded throughout the world through the reserve currency of the U.S. dollar. That means if Russia wants to buy oil, they got to convert their Russian money into U.S. dollars to buy oil, and this is true of every country in the world except for the last 2 years. Okay? Now I want you to think about what they're doing with fossil fuels and getting off fossil fuels, and we're going to get rid of fossil fuels. Now you have gotten rid of and depleted anything backing the U.S. dollar, so that we obviously have more U.S. dollars than there is oil being sold in the world today, so there's nothing backing up the U.S. dollar. Now maybe you're sitting here tonight and you say, well, you know, please, just get on and close the service. Close the sermon and stop boring me with economic theories. I'm not interested in a book report on that. Well, here's why you should be interested. All right? Now, here's the crux of the matter before I close. When Donald Trump went into office in 2016, because of the bad economics of Barack Obama from 2018 to 2016, when Donald Trump went into office in 2016, the U.S. dollar was worth 71 cents. All right, so your $1 was not worth 100 cents, it was worth 71 cents. And held pretty strong until the end of Trump's first term and COVID, and they did a horrific thing, and they started sending out stimulus checks. Yeah. Do you know how they sent every American a $2,000 stimulus check? And I think maybe they did that a couple of different times. All right, do you know how they did that? They did that by telling the Federal Reserve central banking system to fire up the printing presses and print more dollars, that now the federal government is on the hook for that debt, okay? And they passed it out to us so that when Trump went out of office and Joe Biden came into office in 2021, the dollar was worth 51 cents. So it went from 71 cents to 51 cents in Trump's term, okay? So are y'all tracking with that? So about 6 years ago, your dollar was still worth 51 cents. Now, after Joe Biden went out of office and Trump came back into office last year, do you know what financial experts like Ray Dalio and Robert Kiyosaki and all these do you know how much $1 is worth today? 2.7 cents. Not 27 cents. 2.7 cents. All right, let's be generous. I'm feeling very generous tonight. Let's just round that up to 3 cents. $1 is not worth 100 cents. $1 today is worth 3 cents. If you have $1 in your pocket, you have the borrowing power of 3 cents. You understand that? If you got a crisp, clean Benjamin, $100 bill in your pocket tonight, what you actually have is $3. You understand that? I'm not making this up. This is not from conspiracy theorists. These are from the most trusted financial experts in the United States of America. Bubba Horowitz, to name a third one. Your dollar's worth about 3 cents. Okay? Here's what that means. That means that we are 97% complete with the financial collapse that is intentionally being orchestrated by the global elites. Brothers and sisters, what I'm telling you tonight is we are 3 cents away from a cashless society where they do away with the dollar altogether and move us on to a CBDC, a central bank digital currency. Okay? Now, you know that Donald Trump ran in his second term on the promise that he would never allow a central bank digital currency in the United States of America. It's one of the reasons I voted for him again, right? That's what he promised. Okay? What you need to understand is back yonder in 2022, when Joe Biden was in office, he told Congress to go on and put together the laws and legislation for CBDC and get it passed, and bipartisan agreement between Democrats and Republicans. In November of 2022, they passed the legislation for CBDC that was signed into law by Joseph Robinette Biden, so that the laws are already there. All right? Now, here's what Trump did back in August. He passed another executive order known as the Genius Act. Y'all remember that one? All right, back in August, he passed the Genius Act. Does anybody here remember what the Genius Act is? This was August 2025, this past August. Trump's Genius Act was his executive order to create a U.S. digital dollar. The creation of a U.S. digital token or currency. Okay? He said, but don't worry, it's not going to be a central bank digital currency. It is going to be a U.S. Treasury digital currency. The banks won't be running it. The United States Treasury or the federal government will be running it. Well, you can trust that a lot more than you can a central bank. Yeah. Do you believe that tonight? Because I don't. Y'all got that? A U.S. Treasury digital currency to take us away from cash so that everything is run through the AI so that you lose your financial freedom. You understand that when you have your own money in cash, whether it's in your account, you're using your bank card, or it's in your wallet, you understand you have freedom to do what you want to do with that. You understand that? That's your money. That's the point of a capitalistic free market society. It is based on 2 of the 10 commandments, thou shalt not steal and thou shalt not covet what thy neighbor has, which guarantees rights to private property that is yours that no one else is allowed to even covet or take from you. You do understand in 2 of the 10 commandments, those commandments are based only on free market capitalism. They're not consistent with communism where you own nothing and the government owns everything. Y'all feeling all right tonight? Okay? In 2020, they started what they called the Great Reset that is to be done by the end of 2029 that has 8 points in the Great Reset. The first one is you will own nothing and be happy. You will own nothing and be happy. Okay? So here's what happens on a digital currency. Here's how AI controls wealth. It controls your digital account and your digital currency. And we will go to what is known as UBI, which means Universal Basic Income. That means the federal government will make a monthly deposit of digital currency into your digital account that will be controlled by AI, and every human being gets the same amount. You will not be able to save from month to month. You will have to use your digital currency within the month allotted. What you do not use will go back into the federal treasury, the U.S. Treasury. You will not be able to save digital currency. There are differences of opinions of what we'll get. The general consensus is each family will have $2,000 of digital currency in their account. It will be managed for you by AI. You'll be allowed 12 gallons of gas a week. You pull up to the pump, you still got plenty of digital currency in your digital account, but the AI knows that you've already got your 12 gallons. You pull up to the pump, you have the digital funds. The pump will not pump your gas because you only are allowed 12 gallons. If you are overweight or you have diabetes, you will not be able to use your digital account to buy Snickers, Twinkies, Ding Dongs, ice cream. You think I'm joking? Think about welfare, EBT, Medicaid, since Trump's been back in office, and RFK Jr., Human Health Secretary, and how that if you are on government assistance, you can no longer use your EBT card or your food stamps to buy sodas, junk food, cupcakes, Twinkies, donuts. That's bad for your health. It'll kill you. No, they're right. It's bad for your health. It's going to kill you, and you shouldn't eat that stuff. But they have no right to force that on you. If it's your money, you ought to be able to buy what you want with it. If you want to live on a Twinkie diet and get you an IV of Coca-Cola running in your veins, it's your money. But not if the government's controlling it.
Yes, that's
Are
right.
you with me?
Yes.
All right, there's more I can say. I'm done. Number one, it's going to control worship. Number two, it's going to control wealth. And number three, it's going to control work. Now, I want you to notice there in verse 16 and 17 that whatever this is that looks identical to AI to me is not only going to control your ability to buy, but also your ability to sell. All right, now, your ability to sell is your ability to make money or work in industry. You got that? It's not only going to control your wealth, it's going to control your work. Okay? Your ability to make money, to create wealth for yourself, your ability to have a job, own a business, etc. It will control work, all sale, industry, and manufacture. Now, I want you to think about this, and I'm done. I want you to think about how right now AI, and this is all over the news, this is not some conspiracy theory, how that AI right now is already taking over the job market, manufacturing, and industry. All right? According to Oxford University in England, by the year 2030, 100 million jobs in the United States of America, so we're talking about within the next 4.5 to 5 years, 100 million jobs in the United States of America will be lost to AI automation. That represents 50% of all jobs in the United States of America will be lost to AI automation in the next 4.5 years. That same study says 1 billion jobs will be lost globally to AI automation. 1 billion with a B jobs globally. 100 million jobs just in the United States of America. Like America globally, they're projecting the loss of 50 to 60% of human jobs in the workforce that will now be done by AI automated machines, computers, and robots. Now I want you to think about that. The thing about AI, automation, machines, computers, and robots is it doesn't need days off. It doesn't work a 40-hour week. It works 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It doesn't need or get vacations, let alone paid vacations. It does not get sick and need sick days. It does not take holidays off, Christmas and Good Friday and 4th of July and the such like. Nothing, presidents, no. It doesn't need health care. You don't have to provide it health insurance. You don't have to provide it a 401k retirement. Are you with me? And it is their stated goal to phase out the human workforce. Put us on a universal basic income that will be supplied by the rich elites who get filthy stinking rich by eliminating 50 to 60% of jobs globally that humans have now and get paid for. All they got to do is buy this AI one time. And they never have to pay it a check. Those rich elites who get exponentially richer through this communistic system are said to have to pay a tax. It will be equally distributed to all 8 billion humans on the earth, known as universal basic income. You get your digital token, and it's only fair that we all have the same amount, because you don't have a job anymore. You're not working, all right? So we're just going to give you this. You can live on it, and we know you can live on it because the AI will manage it for you. You understand that? Klaus Schwab and Yuval Noah Harari, the heads of the World Economic Forum, have been asked, what is the human race going to do? They said, we will give them plenty enough video games and drugs to pacify them until they die on their UBI. Think about when you go in Walmart. Is there more cashiers working at Walmart now or less? Everybody goes through self-checkout. That's AI. Okay? I want you to think about Uber, and I want you to think about truck driving. You understand they're phasing out men and women in computerized vehicles, including semis. Driverless vehicles are running all over America. They're talking about phasing out all banks, bankers, tellers, phasing out all accounting and accountants, CPAs, gone. AI can do all that. We're talking about phasing out nurses and doctors. Now remember, they're going to put this inside of you, and it's going to be the great physician. It's going to heal you. That's why they say AI is God. God heals. God works miracles. AI is going to work this wonderful miracle in you and heal you. It must be God, they say. Furthermore, they already have AI nurses and doctors, and I travel through these large cities across America, Atlanta and Dallas and Houston and the such like, and I see on the billboards in these large cities advertisements, come to such and such hospital. You can have AI heart surgery. You can have AI gallbladder surgery. You can have AI cancer. See our AI doctors. You understand? Nobody's safe. AI lawyers? Nobody's safe. I've been telling young men, let's see if this squares with you. I don't know if we have, I know we have some young men here tonight. I've had young men in these churches I preach in over the last 10 years come to me and say, I don't really know what I want to do with my life. What do you recommend? I said, well, I recommend you don't go to college unless you want to get a lot dumber and poorer.
Amen. Amen. Yep.
And if you disagree with that, after the service, I would love to talk to you about that, because I'm going to prove it's just going to make you dumber and poorer. See, people are going to college to get jobs that in the next 5 years, AI is going to replace. I've been saying to young men for the last 10 years, learn a skilled trade.
That's right. Amen.
Learn a skilled trade in blue-collar work. Number one, because nobody's doing it anymore because they're lazy.
That's right.
They go to college and become lazy communists that think they're supposed to get a 15-hour-a-week job that pays $300,000 a year.
Yep.
Get you a work ethic. Get you a skilled trade. Get out there and bust your tail, and I guarantee you, you'll make 5 times as much as the college graduate with a bachelor's degree or a master's degree.
That's right.
Ain't nobody roofing houses no more. Ain't nobody building houses. Ain't nobody plumbing. Ain't nobody doing electric. See, those are things that AI ain't ready to do.
That's right.
And I want you to think about these. And I'm done, I promise. I want you to think about how when Biden was president, at least, bare minimum, 20 million illegal immigrants came in from countries all over the world. 20 million. Not just along the Mexican-American border, but ignored and almost never reported on how many millions came in through the northern border from Canada and the United States and that wasn't even patrolled. I mean, no news even reported that. Not just from Hispanic or Latin American countries now, but from countries all over the world from every continent, 20 million. Now, we already have 30 million illegal immigrants here, and we let 20 million illegal immigrants in with a no borders policy under Joe Biden. Now, one of the things that Trump ran on was, we're going to close the border, fix the border, and we're going to deport all of them. So one of the things that, Trump brags about that, simple-minded people are not paying attention to. We are too easily deceived. Trump brags that he is deporting 1,000 people a day. And the conservative news media goes bonkers with praise and worship to Trump because they're deporting 1,000 illegal immigrants a day. Wow. Can you believe that? 30,000 a month. It's unbelievable, Brother Joe. What an amazing job he's doing. All right, so when he's done in 4 years, that means he will have deported 1.2 million of the 20 million that came in under Joe Biden, not including the 30 million that were already here before 2020. Have you done anything deporting 1.2 million of 50 million illegal immigrants that are in the country? No. One of the 8 points of the Great Reset, number one was what? We just went over this. Number one's what? You'll owe nothing and be happy. Either point 4 or 5 is open borders and mass immigration into all countries, but especially the United States of America. Okay? So Trump has you all believing that closed borders and 1,000 deportations a day is going to fix this problem, and it's not. And they don't want to fix this problem. You want to know why they don't want to fix this problem? You listening to me? AI will do all white-collar jobs by 2030. The only thing that's going to be left to do are blue-collar jobs. And lazy, spoiled, soft Americans ain't going to do blue-collar jobs. But do you know who will do the blue-collar jobs that AI can't do in this country?
Yep.
Illegal immigrants. And you know what they'll do it for? A few bucks a day. See, they're illegal. They don't have citizenship, so they can't demand minimum wage. They can't go to fair labor. No, they're not citizens. What you're seeing with illegal immigration in this country is you are seeing slavery that's celebrated by the Democrat Party. The ones who are against racism and slavery and are practicing the worst form of racism and slavery known to mankind. With 50 million illegal immigrants here that they plan to use as slaves and slave labor who have no rights because they're not citizens. Are you listening to me? While they drug the rest of the American population into early graves and obese boredom because they got no job and they're living on whatever their digital tokens are, welfare system that we have been forced into. Do you have any questions tonight? Let me put my glasses on. Anybody got any questions?
What did you say the UBI?
Universal basic income. All right, so the premise of communism is that the only fair system of government and finance is for the government to own all property, all wealth, money. The government has to own everything. And then equal distribution of funds. Equally distribute the funds because it's only fair that everybody has the same amount. All right, that's communism. The government controls it all. There are no personal ownership, no personal property rights, no Fourth Amendment. The government owns it all. And the only thing that's fair, that everybody has the same amount. You will know this when it happens in the near future as universal basic income. That's what they call it. Universal basic to every human. It's only fair we all get the same amount. Now, people would protest and say, but I work hard. I built my own business. I saved. I invested. And they will say, well, you don't have any claim to it because you don't work anymore and you don't invest anymore and you don't, so therefore no one claims the right of wealth above anybody else. See, it's all a lie. It's not about the government being concerned with the human race and, wanting to be fair and diversity and equity and inclusion. They don't care about it. It's about them getting control of all of money, limiting the class. It's only fair for everybody it's not fair that some live in poverty. It's only fair if everybody lives in poverty. So in communism, the rich get way, way richer. The middle class is gone. You have filthy elite rich, and then the poverty-stricken poor. That's it. That's all communism's ever had, anywhere it's ever been tried in the world, because it's satanic.
Just observation, real quickly. People like me that are older, we hear things being said and we just discount it. I drive back and forth to Ferris a lot of times. I've been a teacher there, retired in June. Now I'm substituting, going back and forth. So I listen to the radio and I hear things. One of the reports said, and I think that was primarily for Texas, that there are plans now to have
Which is what your parents should be teaching you. But that's what he's talking about. This is an excellent question, and every time I have taught on this, I get this question. And it's an excellent question, all right? And I want to preface my answer by saying this. I preach prophecy. I preach that the Lord is coming, the Lord is coming soon. People will always ask me, well, what should we do? To which I always say, you should go out and live your life. You should go home and make babies. You should raise a family. You should work a job. You should buy a house and land. You should mow your yard and clean your house. You should pay your taxes. You should serve God and be in church and give your tithes and offerings and send missionaries. All right? Martin Luther was asked what he would do if he knew that, what would he do today if he knew the Lord was coming back tomorrow? He said, I pay my taxes and fruits. One of the things that the post-millennialists mock us with, we talked about this mockery we're getting, is that when we preach this, we're instilling in people, you just need to quit your job, and you just need to go sit on a mountain somewhere and wait on Jesus to come. No, I ain't never preached that. Prophecy makes me want to live for Jesus, win people to Him. Make me say clean and pure and holy. something that Dave Ramsey would say no to gold and silver. He said, it just holds its value. The return is not high enough on your investment. You need to invest in other things that you get a higher return on. Okay? Now, here's what Dave Ramsey does not believe and is not accounting for. And that is, the signs of the times are real. Jesus is coming. And the Bible predicts it's going to get worse and worse. The Bible predicts there's going to be a financial collapse. It predicts it many, many, many times. And so that is not in Dave Ramsey's financial planning. All right? Now, here's the thing about gold and silver. It is the safest form of investment because you are not going to lose your money if you buy. That's right. So, for instance, 2 years ago, gold was selling for $2,000 an ounce. An ounce ain't much, and $2,000 is high, right? But right now, gold is selling for $5,000 an ounce. So if you buy gold at $2,000 an ounce 2 years ago, it's selling for $5,000 an ounce. Is there any stock you could have invested in, including NVIDIA, that would have brought you a greater return than gold? No. Or silver. Silver just 1 year ago was selling at spot for $25 an ounce. It's over $100 an ounce now. Okay? And here's why I say gold and silver is good. The worse times are, and the worse paper money and fiat currencies, the more the dollar goes down, the more gold and silver goes up. If gold and silver going down, it means your currency is rising in its value. Okay? We already know from the Bible that currency is not. The long-term plan for your investment is that your currency is not going to keep rising. It's going to bottom out. And the lower the value of your currency goes, the higher gold and silver goes. So if you believe what the Bible says about cashless society, collapse of fiat currency, like I believe, gold and silver is not only the safest investment, it is also going to bring you the greatest return. Right? Here's I recommend. I've got $1,000 worth of silver coin this year, and I have no investment in the stock market at all. Okay. It's not to say that you shouldn't have those things. I think all of that is wonderful. However, when we go to digital, all right, those silver you have are going to be worth a lot. You ain't going to be able to do nothing with it. That's the problem. The thing about gold and silver is it matches wonderfully with a cash currency system, in that it's worth cash. It can be used like that cash. It can be traded for cash. But if you have a digital system and no cash, your silver may be worth something. I cannot see a scenario where how you get in with it, because you will not be able to trade it for digital currency. You're only allowed this way and no more. So I do remember during World War II, Franklin Roosevelt passed an executive order that allowed the federal government to confiscate all gold and silver held by American citizens. And if they did not surrender their gold and silver, they would be arrested and put in jail. He said, America needs this for war. If you're patriotic American, care about soldiers over there, care about one war, and you'll get Japan back for the Pearl Harbor bombing that we helped orchestrate. Of course, they didn't tell them that part, but you surrender your gold and silver. I certainly think that, we will come to a time where the Antichrist comes for your gold and silvers, precious metals. But I still think it is the best. It's not only the best and safest investment. I think it's going to give you the highest return until the crash is complete. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am? There's an article online today by one of the financial experts, and I didn't have time because of I didn't have time to say it because of my current studies. I could not get it scheduled. I wanted to about how they're going to take your property. So I have a whole series where I preach. I preach the third seal in Revelation 6, and then I preach the mark of the beast in Revelation 9, and I do sermons in Revelation 18 about time economies. And I have had a number of people ask me this, and they say, what kind of? And I say, number one, the best thing that you can do is get out of debt. Now, any of you tell you that. All right? Any financial advisor get out of debt as fast as you can. The reason I say get out of debt, and I agree with everything on that. The reason I say get out of debt, because the way you're going to own nothing, the way they're going to confiscate what you own is through debt and taxes. Debt and taxes. All right? Number one, debt. If you owe debt on something, whatever you owe debt on, you don't own, you owe. So you have them on your house through the bank. see it do something like the whole financial collapse, where they will wipe out all debt. America will never pay back the $30 trillion they owe. We don't take enough taxes in the country annually to pay the interest on $38 trillion we owe. You understand that? We don't collect enough tax in this country right now to even pay the interest on the debt that is owed by the federal government. $38 trillion doesn't include what you owe. All right? What Americans say, that's what the federal government owes. And they collect the taxes to pay the interest annually on $38 trillion, while exponentially increasing that debt by printing dollars every day. The Iran war, not necessarily again what we're doing there, but you have to understand. First week we were there, it cost us $11 billion. So almost, like $1.7 billion a day just to do what we're doing. So it's over $1 billion a day. Every day we're there doing what we're doing. Your $38 trillion versus $1 billion a day, more debt. You don't even have enough taxes to pay the interest on your debt. I think for the crash of the global financial collapse, they'll use this to wipe the American government, state, and every other dead country in the world slave. Okay, all that's gone. And they'll say, you're debt. Okay, you're debt. But, okay, no, you're debt. You don't owe anything more. All right? Your debt's gone. But now the federal government will do a bail. Anytime a bank fails this country, from Barack Obama's time to the present, the federal government go in and bail that bank out. Right? That means they add to the national debt by having the Federal Reserve print more money to make that bank solid again, which means now the federal government owns that bank. They'll wipe out all our debt, and the government we assumed it, and we're so, we're to us, we took care of your debt. Okay? But to do that, we also took the government. But we will rent it to you. Okay? So I say the most important thing you can do is get out of debt. Because when you get out of debt, you own it. It's going to be harder to steal from you when you own it. If you own it, it's going to be very easy for them to repossess and cover shit what you have. Right? The other way is through taxes. Right? So they can raise taxes on everything that you owe, and then you digital tokens of $1,000 a month where you get paid for what you owe. And so they assume the ownership of it, and say your debt is free and clear. What a favor we've done for you. But we can rent you. If you need a storage one, and an AI drone will fly to your doorstep. You put in your order. And I mean, look, I've read in writing how this works. Put in, what you want. You want some Saturday, so all right, we'll toast the drone. We'll toast her off at 6 a.m. So at your house. Drone will pick it up 10 a.m. at your house. Cost you X amount of token. Digital, man. No, we don't. But you have to pay taxes on your land every year, which is your state's way of telling you we own land and you're just renting from us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how it's going to be. That, right. And usually if you follow this, still can get them to work because the government has been, they expedite this process to COVID. Right. Stay home, we'll just give money. Stay home. All right. Now, I saw on Newsmax on yesterday morning that we right now in 2026 have less employed workforce than we had high COVID 2020, early 2021 when they stayed home. There are less American citizens employed in the workforce today than there was high COVID when Americans were forced to stay home. AI is taking over jobs. If you look, Amazon's cutting this many thousand every day, this many thousand every day, Walmart's this many thousand every day, and they're being replaced by AI. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yes. And Musk said at the end of the year, a few months ago, that by 2030 he was going to have 3 billion the Optimus 3 robots in functional in the workforce. 3 billion Optimus 3 robots in workforce by 2030. So they're mass produced. Well, I'll say this: they cannot do the digital. They can do what I have preached on until the artificial superintelligence next. Okay? So Donald Trump is right, and that's the end of 27. Then we would be there within a couple of years. Now, I've given you their timeline. Understand that God Almighty is on the front. He can thwart their plans. He can mess our timelines. He can do anything he wants. They're not God, and he is. It does seem that in this 2030 agenda, the Great Reset, it does seem that God, in providence, is allowing them to fulfill their timeline. the internet and have running function at a speed that super intelligent wires do all this global finance, all 8 billion humans on the planet. So you can't do that with artificial general intelligence 5G. That only 70% of the population. You can't have a global currency, one world currency, and one world economy, unless you have a system that can manage it, the entirety of the world. Right now, our indicator capabilities are around 70%. 6G and AI just to 100% of the global population. Elon Musk has already said this. Elon Musk has said by 2030 he's going to have 1 million satellites orbited around the planet that are running all AI. Right? How many people know how many satellites are in orbit above the Earth right now? Who here knows how many satellites there are on orbit right now? A massive number of satellites. The only thing by 2030 there'll be 1 million satellites surrounding the Earth. I think this is in keeping Trump's, Gold Dome, our Iron Dome, and So I thought you get to see some intelligence. When that happens, that's when they'll move us to the global crash of the communist system. And then this way. Well, everything with Musk's system. Has his Starlink satellites. He already has 8X satellites. We're not going to 10,000 satellites. That was satellite everybody by China, America, Russian satellites in orbit. To 1 million by us going on. So what Musk did with his satellites, super intelligence is that there'll be no fiber optic internet. Okay, but people know this. The internet will be in atmosphere, molecules of the air. No matter if you are in the Amazon jungle that has never seen eternity. You'll have 6G internet. It will be through 5G satellite. It will be wireless, cableless, no satellite on your house, no wires in nowhere, no wires from your phone company, internet provider, cable provider, all that kind of stuff. It will literally be omnipresent on the earth. Yes. Thanks for bringing that up. This is an excellent point. And this is an excellent point. And when my series is on prophecy, end time coming, people have, and I will bring that out, that commodities are going to be worth more than all your commodities. Okay. One of the problems with America, while we're already treating dead in the whole 9 yards, and I think one of the things Trump's probably being wise about with terrorists is that under Bill Clinton and history and NAFTA and all the evil, terrible things he had to destroy the United States is that the United States, we quit manufacturing and we farmed that out slave labor in China, Vietnam, and Indonesia. Okay. We got rid of made in America. Bill Gates says, I own 16-7 build in China. I see a slave shop $2 and sell it to $2,000. Okay, to pay American work, everybody making a fair profit off this, including Mr. Gates. He wants to $98 off every phone sales and pay to somebody $2. So my point in that is that Trump's tariff system is what's machine. You don't export anything in America. Our trade agreements are garbage. We're paying countries a ton of money. They're still to sell it to our consumers, and nobody nothing from us. Okay, nobody. So I know everything can be made against the tariffs. But one of the problems of this is we don't know commodities. We don't say nothing. We don't make nothing. It's nothing here, but make furniture, and soybeans. We are a terrible disadvantage. So these folks should have to pay more. So tariffs attack on them, the tax on us for buying their cheap stuff. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. Now, to this brother, I say people untradeable commodities will be important. So he's one of the richest in the world. He claims to be a born-again Christian. He's outspoken for Christ. On Fox and Newsman, everyone's his is Berean genetics, but he's considered fought in Vietnam, all that kind of. He has said, here's what you need when crash happens. Best investment you can make right now. If you get rich, the best investment you can do. Like, the financial college that he's getting, I'm not making a joke. There's kind of $100 word net. You're going to be a system run by the government. And trade commodities are going to be how you're going to build out. He said, day one candle is going to worth way more than $100 billion. So people are going to have to. And they can be somewhere. If you got Cancun, you got gold in your hand. You can trade with them about something you won't need if you got Cancun. So if you got chicken and legs or, just some things. Something you can trade barter with would be very wise in this system. Anything else? Board verification. B-O-R-I-C-A-T-I-O-N. And so this is for board verification, like a cyber. So this is the singularity meeting. They would say man, machine. So the AI human coming one. And ultimately, it's the way they're going to death. Is not only by putting AI in you, but then putting you inside of the AI. So you can load not just the internet and your mind, going Marvin. But ultimately you will be able to load your soul and spirit, your human and consciousness into a machine that is a body for you. It'll be the perfect body, perfect version of you. A beautiful body, a healthy body, attractive body. So humanoid robot that you download your soul and spirit, your consciousness in. And this body will never get disease.